Hey there, this is Tybee. I'm going to show you guys how to make scalloped potatoes. I just put a whole roaster chicken in the oven and I decided, I think I'm going to do scalloped potatoes with this. So what I've done so far is sliced up some potatoes. I did 5. And then I buttered a baking dish. I poured 2 cups of milk, and this is 2%. I've got a 1/4 cup of flour and butter. And then I'm going to throw some bacon bits in. And right now what I've got is the butter that I'm using on the stove with an onion that I've cut up. So what I'm going to do is start this. I'm going to heat this up. Now you want this on a medium heat. You don't want to go too high. Give me 1 second. And I'm just going to cook the onions till they're translucent, till they get a little bit soft. And again, I'm on a medium heat with this. I'm just gonna let them go for a minute or two. I've got, like I said, I've got a chicken roasting in the oven. Okay, so what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna let this go for a bit. And then I'm gonna add my flour and make a roux. And then we're gonna cook that out. I'll show you that in a minute. Just want that to cook for a minute, so I'll come back. Okay, so I think those onions have gotten a little bit translucent. Now I'm gonna add equal parts of butter and flour. So I put about 1/4 cup of butter in there to start and sauteed the onions in that. And now 1/4 cup of flour. Now you just wanna stir, stir, stir. Keep it moving the whole time. And again, it's really important to keep this on a medium heat. If it's too hot, it's gonna burn. And you don't want that. And when I mean burn, I mean the flour. You just want to stir this around until you get all of that flour, the raw flour taste cooked out. And you'll be able to tell it gets really pasty. And that's the way it's supposed to do. Especially when you have onions in here. Okay, just keep stirring. Trying to get that off the side. You know, I also decided I'm going to throw some thyme leaves in there too. That's dried thyme. I didn't have any fresh herbs with me today. And here's my 2 cups of milk. And I'm going to start putting that in slowly, just a little at a time. So I'm just going to keep whisking. I usually try and do this for a good minute anyway. Again, medium heat. That's so important. I've done this before and I have burned it, or I haven't cooked it long enough. It has the flour bitterness to it. This is looking pretty good. Good consistency. You know, and there's sometimes when you add in the flour, it just gets really, really thick. And that happens. And that's fine too. So don't get discouraged. Just do the best that you can. Okay, so now I'm going to put a little bit of milk in. Just add a little bit at a time. And this is going to get crazy pasty now. It'll get very pasty. And again, leaving this on medium heat. For now, it's on medium. See how creamy that's getting? Okay, put a little more milk in. Okay, that's about 1 cup of milk in there now. Just keep whisking. Get that all incorporated. that's just going to thicken up nicely. Just keep on stirring, keep whisking. You know, and I just wanted to tell you right now, I've put my potatoes in water so that they don't get all brown. If you leave them in the air, they tend to turn brown on you. So I just slice them up and put them in the water until I'm ready to put them in the buttered bowl. And you always butter. You have to butter all the sides of the bowl. It's just best. I mean, you can use cooking spray. You can use whatever you want, but I prefer butter. Okay, coming back. All right, the rest of the milk. There it goes. All right, again, that was 2 whole cups of milk. It wasn't whole milk. I mean, you can use whole milk. You can use half and half. A lot of people use heavy cream. You can use whatever you've got. There's a saying, you know, cooks do what they can. They use what they can. Chefs follow recipes, I guess. I don't know. I'm no chef. I'm nobody. I'm just somebody that likes to cook. So we're just going to stir this around. And you know what now I'm going to do? I'm going to turn the temperature up a little bit. Just a little bit so we can start thickening this. And this is, I'm going to let this go around for probably a good 5 minutes, all right? So what I'm going to do now, first of all, I'm going to put a few of the thyme flakes in. Dried thyme. I just love dried thyme. I love dried thyme. So I'm going to put a little bit of thyme in here. I'm going to let this go for 5 minutes. And after that, what I'm going to do in the meantime is I'm going to take the potatoes out of the water. I'm going to drain them and get them all situated in the bowl. And then I'll pour that sauce in the bowl. And that's just going to take me a minute. Oh, and I'm going to put bacon bits in because I've got them and might as well. All right, I'll be back. Okay, well, I've been stirring the roux. I started to layer some of the potatoes. So I've got 1 layer of the potatoes down in here, and I put some salt and some pepper on that. And then I'm going to pour a little bit of the roux on top. So I'm going to put some of the bacon bits on first. Now I just wanted to let you know, this is where I'm at stirring this. Here's the consistency we're at. I did sprinkle a little bit of garlic powder in and a couple shakes of cayenne pepper. So that was kind of just an afterthought. Again, when you're a cook, you can do whatever you want. Just something comes to mind, toss it in. If you don't want it, don't use it. You know, I mean, some people, they just, you know, go just nothing, no salt and pepper. So it depends on your diet. It depends on your likings. So you do what you want to do. Now, also, when you're making scalloped potatoes, there's a lot of people, there's a lot of recipes that just have you layer this like this, and then take flour and sprinkle flour on right now and continue the layers, flour on top of each, salt, pepper, flour, each layer like a lasagna. And then pour the roux on, or excuse me, and then pour milk on top, not the roux. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, so, but we're doing the roux. This is how I'm going to do it. So I am going to continue stirring this. I'm going to pour some of it in on top of here. Let me show you. Again, hang on, I've got to put some bacon in. Hang on. Okay, I had to open the bacon. Okay, so here I'm going to shake a little bit of the bacon. I got bacon bits. So I'm just going to shake some bacon bits in here. That's about enough. Then I'm going to take the roux. I'm just stirring this up. Make sure I got it out of all the crevices around the rim here and the bottom. And again, this was equal amounts of butter, flour, and I cut up an onion. And then 2 cups of milk on top of that to make this roux. And then I told you I put in some thyme leaves, dried thyme leaves, because I don't have any fresh herbs here in the house right now. A little garlic powder and a couple shakes of cayenne pepper. So that's where we're at right now. Turn this heat off. See the onions in my... in my whisk. Get them out. Get out. Okay. Okay. So now, 1 layer of potatoes, a little salt and pepper, a little bit of bacon bits. Pour some on. Okay. Now, I'm going to continue this process right up until they get rid of all the potatoes. Each layer, salt, pepper, bacon bits, and then the sauce. Salt, pepper, bacon bits, and then sauce. So potatoes, salt, pepper, bacon bits, sauce. Till we get to the top, and I'll come back and show you what it's like when I get to the top, okay? Okay, so there's my next layer. Potatoes down, salt, pepper, bacon bits. And some sauce with onions. Woo! Okay. Here we go, more potatoes. You know, there's been times that I've been in a hurry and I've just actually dumped the potatoes in. Excuse me. And that really doesn't make a big difference. Just turn them, you know, flat side down. You know, you can do something really neat. It doesn't matter. I guess it depends on how busy you are and how much time you've got to mess around, right? So this is my next layer. Dry off my fingers here. Now I've got kosher salt. Just a little bit of kosher salt. A couple shakes of pepper. I like pepper, so I tend to go a little heavy on that. Oh, that's for my chicken. Set the timer for more time. That chicken's got to go another 30 minutes. But I am going to move the chicken over. So I've got time for my potatoes, or room for my potatoes to go. Okay. Okay. Salt, pepper. Anyway, I was saying I really like pepper, so I put a lot of pepper on things. Oh, I don't want that in there. Okay. All right. You know what? I'm doing this video with one hand. I'm going to put it back down and I'm going to continue. So now you see what I'm doing. I'm going to put more sauce on. I've got a few more potatoes to go on top. I'll sauce the top of that. I'll come back again and show you the result before I put it in the oven. Okay, here we are. I've finished layering the potatoes, salt, pepper, bacon bits, and the rest of the sauce right to the top. Now, I put it on a cookie sheet, a little cookie sheet, just in case it, you know, spills over a little bit, bubbles up. I'm gonna put a top on this. I'm gonna put a top on this. I'm gonna put it in the oven at 350 degrees for half an hour with the top on. And then I'm gonna take the top off and leave it in there for another 20 minutes with the top off. And I will show you what we've got when I come back. You know, I just wanna say one more thing. You can put toppings on here. There's times that I've seen people with Parmesan cheese on top, Gruyere cheese. You can bust up crackers and butter and pour that on. I'm gonna go old school. I'm just gonna go just like this. And I think this will get a nice crust on it after I take the top off this and leave it in the oven. So my chicken's gonna be done in about 25 minutes. And then while that's resting, this will continue to bake and it should all be ready to roll at the same time. Okay, I'll come back and let you see the end result. Thanks. Okay, this is Tybee, I'm back. I just took the scalloped potatoes out of the oven. They've been in there for an hour. I actually left them in there for an entire hour at 350 degrees. You can still see the bubbling going on. So I'm gonna let these rest. I'm gonna let them rest for about 10 minutes and then we'll come back and cut into them and show you what we've got. Again, 350 degrees, I left the cover on for the first 30 minutes. Then I took them off and I wanted more color. So I left them in the oven for an entire 30 minutes after the cover was taken off. Okay, so we'll come back in a second. Well, it'll be a second to you and we'll cut into it and I'll show you what we got. Okay, Tybee's back. This is the end result. I put the cover on it while I was letting it rest. That aside. And got a chicken leg here, a little bit of onion. Let's see how this came out. Okay. Look at that. Okay, so here's the end result. Looks really good. Okay, so that's it.